Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're tackling one of the most universal and honestly the most infuriating frustrations out there. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You're putting in the effort at the gym. You're showing up day after day, but when it comes to seeing actual physical changes, absolutely nothing. Well, today we're going to break down exactly why that happens by looking directly at source material that exposes the 5 fatal killers of physical progress. I really want to acknowledge your hard work right off the bat here. Let's be real, you're grinding. You've been at the gym for months, maybe even years. You're sweating, you're diligently paying that monthly membership tax, but the gains? Zero, zilch, nada. It's a total mystery, right? Like, why are you putting in all this undeniable effort but have literally zero tangible results to show for it? Well, the source material we're looking at today doesn't pull any punches when answering that exact question. In fact, the text is incredibly blunt. It states that despite all your grinding, you look in the mirror and, quote, you still look like a bag of milk. Ouch, right? It's a pretty harsh reality check. We're going to look at 5 fatal mistakes that are secretly killing your progress right now. The author actually notes that today's lesson might hurt your feelings a bit, but the ultimate goal here is to save your physique and completely rewrite your DNA. So let's get into the specifics. Let's completely dismantle killers 1 and 2. Focus and free weights. These are the false comforts that make you feel like you're working out when you're really just hanging out. So our very first killer is what the source calls phone zombies. Come on, I'm sure you've seen them. Or, hey, maybe you actually are one. You do one quick set of 10 reps and then spend 15 minutes liking Instagram posts. As the text humorously but painfully accurately points out, your thumbs have a six-pack, but your abs are entirely non-existent. You are essentially substituting actual physical exertion with digital distraction. The absolutely crucial point here is this. High intensity does not mean doing burpees until you vomit. That's a massive misconception. True intensity, according to our source, means lifting heavy enough that you physically cannot check your phone. If you have the energy to text mid-set, you aren't training, you're just loitering. The mandate here is super simple and direct. Put the phone away and respect the iron. Which brings us to the second massive mistake. Loving gym machines way too much. The source cheekily refers to these as grandma machines because the machine actually stabilizes the weight for you. I mean, they do half the work, but if you want to achieve that superhero physique, you cannot rely on a machine to balance the load. You have to stabilize the weight yourself. You actually need that physical struggle. And that leads us to the specific tools for that struggle. We're talking barbells, dumbbells, and kettlebells. Why are these so critical? Because these specific free weights force your body to use every single muscle fiber just to keep you from falling over. Stop letting the machine do the heavy lifting for your stabilizing muscles. Pick up the free weights and let your body fight for balance. That is how real, noticeable growth is triggered. Moving right along, we arrive at killer number 3, the cardio delusion. We are about to completely bust a very common myth here. So many people think that sweating buckets on a treadmill is the absolute ultimate way to burn belly fat. But as our source forcefully points out, that is dead wrong. The biological reality here is fascinating. Cardio definitely burns calories, sure, but it only burns them while you are actively running. The second you step off that treadmill, that calorie burn plummets. Lifting heavy weights, on the other hand, creates a fundamentally different and way more powerful physical response in your body. The source refers to this as the afterburn effect. Think of it like this. When you lift heavy, you are actually creating micro tears in your muscle fibers. To repair that damage, your body has to work overtime, expending massive amounts of energy. So you aren't just burning calories during the workout, you are burning fat long after you've left the gym, just to recover from the damage you did. And the metric on this is absolutely striking, 48. Your body continues to burn fat for up to 48 hours after a heavy weightlifting session. That is 2 full days of elevated fat burning, all from a single intense session with the iron. You just do not get that sustained metabolic spike from a standard jog on the treadmill. The main takeaway here is perfectly summarized by this direct quote from the text. Do cardio for your heart, lift weights for your waistline. It's all about a balanced approach and understanding what specific exercises actually do to your physiology. You've got to stop using cardio as a weight loss crutch and start using weights as your primary fat-burning engine. Okay, let's dive right into the 4th mistake, consistency over confusion. This tackles the habit of constantly changing your routine. We've all heard of muscle confusion, right? The idea that you need to constantly shock your system by changing your routine every single time you walk into the gym. Well, when you constantly change things up, your body isn't confused, it's just annoyed. You are hitting it with random nonsense. The source argues that it is actually boring consistency that builds exciting results. If you never stick to a lift long enough to actually get good at it, you will never get strong enough to force your muscles to grow. To combat this nonsense, the source insists on sticking to a practical timeline for a minimum of 4 weeks. Let's look at it. Week 1, you start. Week 2, you learn the mechanics. Week 3, your nervous system adapts. And by week 4, you finally master the movements and can push heavy enough to actually get stronger. If you change your routine on week 2, you constantly reset your progress to 0. Stick to the plan. Which brings us to killer number 5, embracing the ugly face. This one is all about human psychology and the fear of pushing past the burn. So many gym-goers stop a set the exact moment it starts to become uncomfortable. They want to look good, controlled, and composed while working out. But growth requires progressive overload. You have to chase failure. Let me put it this way. If you look handsome while lifting, the weight isn't heavy enough to trigger growth. The source emphatically states that you must push past the burn, because the burn is where the magic happens. You need to strain, you need to make the ugly face, and you literally need to push the muscle to its absolute limit. Listen to this tough love quote to really drive the point home. If you leave the gym feeling fresh, go back in and try again. It perfectly highlights the importance of true intensity. Going to the gym isn't just a daily box to check off. It is a physical event meant to exhaust your targeted muscles. If you aren't leaving tired, you simply haven't given your body a reason to change. All right, let's wrap this all up with a rapid-fire summary of the 5 actionable fixes derived directly from our explainer today. If you want to stop wasting your time, you must do these 5 things. First, put the phone away. Second, stop relying on machines and use free weights. Third, lift heavy instead of just doing cardio. Fourth, stick to a structured plan for at least 4 weeks. And finally, chase failure. Do not be afraid of the ugly face. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. You have the blueprint now. You know exactly what has been secretly killing your progress all this time. So the question is, will you fix these mistakes, be intense, trust the process, and rewrite your DNA? Or will you let these killers win and just enjoy staying small forever? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep pushing, and I'll catch you in the next one.